Carl.
Thank you, Mayor. Holy One, known by many names and beyond all names, Spirit of life, Spirit of love, Spirit of community, Spirit of justice. We ask your blessings on the people who have been called to lead the community in which we live and work and play. Help us as leaders to not ask first, how do we fix this? But what do we need to learn, and how might we need to change? And to whom do we need to listen? Remind us, because we all forget from time to time, especially in the noisiness of what passes for political debate today, that we are not only leaders, but also servants, and that it is our responsibility to serve the common good of all. Remind us that no matter where we live, everyone is our neighbor, our sibling, and that throughout the ages, prophets have called the leaders of the people to respect and protect the least of those among us, our children, the elderly, the poor, those who are hungry, those who have no homes, those who are ill in body, mind, or spirit, the strangers and immigrants in our midst, those who live on the margins, those who are alone, those who are forgotten. Grant us the wisdom and courage to know and do what is right and good and true. May we speak out when it is time to speak out, and listen patiently and receptively when it is time to listen. May we always be guided by the spirit of community, by the spirit of justice, and by the spirit of love. This we pray in the name of all that we hold sacred and holy, all that we hold good and right and true. Amen.
Thank you, Carl. Let's now recite the pledges. We'll start with the pledge to the American flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States
of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now the Texas flag. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Thank you, Council. It is time for public comments. In this particular case, if you sent an email to mayor-and-council@trophyclub.org, we would read your questions. In most cases, we can't respond because it wouldn't have been on the agenda. And if you have an agenda item you want to speak about, you can email that to that same email address. And I don't see, Letty, that anyone has emailed any questions.
No, sir. Nobody emailed tonight.
All right, we will then move on to our announcements and reports. Item number 1, receive Town Manager Norwood's update and provide input regarding the following: COVID-19 update and update on cancellation of summer events. Steve.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. It's been fairly quiet. Since the governor did open up some more businesses, there's been a lot of discussion regarding how some of this is going to be enforced, how come some were allowed to open up, others weren't. Also, the increased testing. I'm sure we've all seen Dallas County confirmed cases that have been over 200 for, 6 or 7 consecutive days. But on top of that, there's also you're seeing some in Fort Worth at facilities that house, either hospitals, nursing homes, or federal prisons, where outbreak has spread pretty seriously. I think everybody now is waiting on the governor. Next week, I believe May 18th, he's going to come out with another round of openings, and probably look at increasing the restaurants and community to go from 25% occupancy to 50%. But we've been on Zoom meetings and conference calls with Denton County. Really not a whole lot of new information at this point, but we're watching it closely. We're getting a lot of comments and reactions, and wanting to get out, and it really pained staff to look at canceling the summer day camp. That is very popular among parents and children among our staff. It gives us opportunity to hire some area teams to help with that. But the CDC guidelines and some of the requirements virtually made that almost impossible. Everything from how you bus kids. We typically in the past would use one bus. That wouldn't be the case now. It'd probably be 2 and 3 buses. Some of the field trips that the children have done in the past are closed. So it was going to make it a real challenge. We are looking at the pool. Hopefully sometime 1st to mid-June we can open the pool. We still haven't decided on exactly, do we open up all of it? Do we open up one side, the splash pad, and not the others on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, for example, and then shut that down, and then on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, open up the actual pool. So again, no decision has been made. We're also going to be looking to the governor's announcement next week, but so far there hasn't been a lot of clarity as far as a lot of these larger gatherings, and even pools. The governor's last order said locals can open up their local pools depending on what the city wants to do. So again, we're watching that closely. We are looking at opening up the dog park possibly this Friday. We've talked to Susan Edmondson. She supports that. We've talked to other officials, other cities to see how they're doing it. Grapevine has had their dog park open for the past week and a half, 2 weeks. But we're going to try to make a final decision maybe tomorrow or Thursday. But again, we're trying to balance public health and safety with also trying to get folks out. And I know there's a lot of pent-up demand. We're seeing that with pickleball. We're seeing that with tennis. And our parks are being heavily used. Our restaurants are, I think, really attracting a lot of folks. So it's a challenging time, and we just still need to be mindful that all of this is not just over. I mean, there's still great concern that we have, especially with social distancing, and anything that we do, whether it's the pools, we have to be very, very diligent on signage. We have to be diligent on sanitizing the best we can. But if people don't feel comfortable, then they probably are not going to show up. So again, I think we've all seen, Major League Baseball is considering opening up on July 4th with no fans, and that's huge. And that was some of our thoughts when we looked at canceling July 4th. That was another event that was not a very popular one, but when you have 4,000 people congregated in that park, a small area, it's going to be a real challenge. And trying to control access points and social distancing and sanitizing, whether it's restrooms, water fountains, was going to be almost an impossible feat. And as of last Friday, we did check with some of our neighboring cities. Roanoke has proposed canceling July 4th. I don't believe a final decision has been made. South Lake they've agreed to cancel it. They haven't made it public, or if they have, it's just here recently. Hearst has canceled all summer events. Flower Mound has canceled all events. Bedford, Hazlitt, Keller's doing some rescheduling. Grapevine is having a fireworks show, but it's over the lake, and they've got a lot of shoreline that they can make that accessible. Coppville is looking to move it to somewhere in their community that has a parking lot, but everybody who shows up must stay in their vehicle. And I think that could be a real challenge when it's 105 degrees outside and people are staying in their cars for 4 and 5 hours. So again, most of the cities we're hearing from are canceling most, if not all, summer events, and especially those that have a high concentration of large gatherings. And CDC is still stating 250. Anything exceeding that should be canceled. So again, it's a difficult time, and it's not just for cities, it's for, concerts and, reunions, weddings. I mean, there's still a lot of things that are being impacted, and I just don't know if the governor's going to have something that definitive that we can really all hang our hat on. So that's pretty much where we stand at this point, and that concludes my comments, Mr. Mayor.
Thanks, Steve. Mike Pastor, if you can hear me, I've seen a couple of messages come across Facebook that says it's hard to hear. I don't know if you can increase volume on your end, or we just need to speak louder. Also, Steve and I were talking today about flag planting for 4th of July and going forward. I see that we have people that do flag planting and have been involved in it from the beginning on Facebook. And so they could put a message in if they have decided if they want to try to accomplish that task. I haven't heard anything. Tony, have you heard anything?
Yes, Mayor. I have a meeting with Tiffany and Mindy this week lined up, and we're going to discuss the logistics behind that.
All right, good. I hope it continues, and a lot of those are families that do it together, and they don't have to worry about social distancing because they're already close together. And I don't see that Mindy or Tiffany made a comment on Facebook. So we'll, I guess, wait till y'all have a meeting. But thanks everybody for that, and be safe out there as we open things up. It is time for the, wait a minute. Tiffany says we're working on a plan. Nothing's been decided upon at this time. Thank you, Tiffany, for responding. All right, it is time for the consent agenda.
Hold on a second. I have a question, Nick.
Yes, Michael.
Back on the fireworks, when's the last day that we can cancel the fireworks before we make a definite decision? Because I know there's a significant part of Trophy Club that can view the fireworks from either their backyard, in the streets, away from everybody being kind of together there at the park. I'm just curious what that last day of us be able to cancel the fireworks is.
Well, we've paid about 50% of the deposit. So I think as far as it going forward, we could probably do it, the week before. I think the bigger issue is getting that word out. And, the very few cities that are going to do it are going to have their hands full with crowd control. But Tony, can we do it as little as 48 hours, or is it the week of, or what do you know?
Yes, sir. We have a clause in the agreement for in case it does rain. We have until July 3rd to make that call.
But that's based on rain.
That's only based on rain, and after speaking to the vendor, it's about, she said 7 days would be suffice for them.
7 days to do.
7 days to, 7 day notice.
All right, Michael, you get your answer?
Yeah, again, I know a lot of people that don't go to the park to watch it. So, that's something that I'd like to hold off if we can until closer to the actual date, if we want to hold off on fireworks now. That's just my opinion, but I open the floor to anybody else.
I support that. I think we need to mark that as tentative. We're going to have another update from the governor on the 18th, and I think if we can do fireworks and handle it, then I think we should. And Steve, you mentioned a couple times about crowd control. If it's not an organized event where we have a gathering like we've had in the past at Independence Park, I don't see a problem with it.
Okay.
Well, there's some aspects of that where people will gather, on some streets that are good viewing streets and just line the streets to do that, which does affect those people that live there. So there is some responsibility there.
Nick, I will also say this, that as the only council member, as I like to say, who lives on the east side of Trophy Club, if you are shooting fireworks with the intention of people staying at their houses and seeing it, you cut off about 3/4 of Trophy Club. So just keep that in mind as well.
All right. Anything else on our town manager's report and questions?
Is there another location? Is it possible that we could find a better location than, I think it was in between the baseball fields, if I remember correctly, is that right? Next to Medellin? Is there another place where we could launch other than on that side of town? Has anybody chased down or asked the country club if it's possible to shoot fireworks from there?
Yes, Wade.
If you don't mind, we look at this at all scenarios. When we had to move from the location of the high school, was it 2 years ago or 3 years ago actually now, and the only place that was viable for us to shoot and be able to shoot even the size fireworks that we have today, which is down to the 2 and 3 inch shells only going 200 and 300 feet in the air, was the location that was picked. There's a requirement through the fire department that requires that we have a minimum of 75 yards of clearing for every 1 inch in diameter shells that we shoot, which really makes it very difficult for us to find that right spot where we can protect our folks. So the location that was picked is really the only location that was available.
Okay, and that makes sense. I think it would be a good idea to still market tentative. It's not going to hurt anything to do that. If there's an opportunity for us to do fireworks, I would want us to. I also think it would be a good idea to have something that the town puts out that gives an explanation of why it has to be where it is. People want fireworks. I would love for us to be able to do fireworks. It may just not be possible, and that may just be the way it goes. But I would like for it to be tentative. I don't know if that makes sense to do that or not, but I think it should.
All right. Anybody else want to comment?
I think Karl had something. He had his hand up a second ago.
I was going to ask about the country club and with the lake there, if that was an option, but Sean beat me to it. But what I will say is I had the opportunity to go out to the disc golf course last weekend, social distance with a couple of veterans, and kudos to the Parks and Rec folks because that's really first rate. It's the first time I've been out there, and it's very nice.
Thank you, Karl. All right, let's move on with our consent agenda. We have items 2 through 2. I'm looking for another one here. I don't see another. I thought I missed a page.
I'll make a motion to approve item 2.
Sean
Second.
moved, okay. And I have a second. All in favor, show your hands. Okay, I think it was unanimous. All right. We are now down to item 3, the issuance of a proclamation recognizing Byron Nelson High School senior class of 2020. And we do have a video that is going to get played with everybody reading the proclamation. Go, Mike.
Hello, Trophy Club. This is Mayor Nick Sanders once again coming to you video-wise. I want to take this time and congratulate all the graduating seniors in Trophy Club and all the parents that worked with them for all these years in their academic career. Seniors, you have something great to be proud of to get that degree. And we look forward to your future and hearing about new accomplishments as you go on in your career or in school. Best wishes. Congratulations from the Town Council, the staff, and the citizens of Trophy Club. Job well done.
We know these times have created challenges that affect everyone. For these students who are about to embark into a new phase of their lives, it is important that we, as a town, pause to applaud their success and wish them luck in their new adventures. And so with that, we would like to read the following proclamation.
Whereas May 22nd, 2020 will mark a special time in the lives of our Byron Nelson High School seniors. Whereas for the last 12 years, our 2020 seniors have prepared research papers, studied the required state exams, participated in extracurricular activities, prepared for competitions, volunteered their time, baked goods, and helped one another with study groups, homework, and the like. And
whereas for the last 2 years, our 2020 seniors have been busy applying to colleges, business schools, technical schools, the military, and working part-time to achieve graduation status. And whereas Friday, May 22nd marks the last day of school for the 2020 graduating seniors across Northwest ISD. And
whereas 543 seniors are expected to graduate from Byron Nelson High School and Trophy Club, and whereas Matthew G. of Trophy Club has been named a valedictorian of the 2020 graduating class of Byron Nelson High School and will attend Brown University to study mathematics, computer science, and physics. And whereas Chet Graswich of Trophy Club has been named salutatorian of the 2020 graduating class of Byron Nelson High School and will attend the University of Texas to study biochemistry.
I, therefore, Nick Sanders, Mayor of the Town of Trophy Club, do hereby proclaim Recognition Day for our Byron Nelson High School and Trophy Club on Friday, May 22nd, 2020, and ask all our citizens to take time to recognize our seniors, as these are unprecedented times which prevent mass gatherings for an appropriate walk-the-stage moment for each senior. Again, we can't say enough how proud we are of our students. We know you all will go on to do great things and represent Trophy Club well in all your future endeavors.
All right, well done, group. We got it done, didn't we? Oh, all right.
I'll make a motion, Nick, to approve the proclamation.
I'll second it.
I do have a motion and a second. All in favor, show your hands. It is unanimous. We did vote. All right, item number 4.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations, seniors. And I think, Jill, there's another video clip that's either already out or coming out that talks about all graduating seniors, right?
Yes, sir. No, that went out today, and then we'll put this video out tomorrow or Thursday.
All right. So item number 4, take appropriate action regarding a resolution of the town council submitting one nominee to the board of managers of VINCO 911 district. You did get an email from Letty today if you had a chance to look at that. The only person up for re-election that's currently on the board is Jim Carter, who we have named in the past. So if somebody wants to make the motion to approve resolution 2020-09, you could, it has the name in the resolution in our packet to be Sue Tamel, which was the person we named last time, and she still is a member. So if someone would like to make the motion and name a person for VINCO 911, you would receive it. You want to, Philip? You're unmuted.
Well, you know, so run that by me again. So we are, is it Sue or Jim?
Sue was who we nominated last time and whose name is in the packet, because we didn't get that changed. But okay. Jim is the only person whose term is expiring, who's currently on the board.
Okay, well, I'll make a motion to approve the item, the resolution naming Jim Carter as our nominee.
second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Just to let everyone know, this is the nomination phase, and towns will make nominations, and then those will come back to us with a list of nominations, and we will vote on at a later date to approve who's going to be on the board. All those in favor of resolution 2020-09, please show your hands. All opposed, same sign. It is approved. All right. I don't have anything to go to executive session. Does any council member have anything they want to discuss in executive session?
Yes, sir.
I'm good. All right. Doesn't look like we do, so we will not go into executive session. And it is 7:29, and we will stand adjourned. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.